You're listening to Career Compass with Patrick and Cha-Cha on Base 101.1 FM.
Today we're talking about sexual harassment. Now, what would you do if your boss made an inappropriate comment? If one of your colleagues just keeps on accidentally touching you, or just basically touching you in a way that you think is off, or even making side comments, just saying things that you find quite offensive, what will you do? Now, sometimes we're just overly excited and overly happy about things that are happening around our office. Sometimes it's office and it's sexual harassment, but we don't know. Now, what is sexual harassment?
Sexual harassment is, many people are quick to say, oh, any unwanted. I'll just say there's one definitive word for sexual harassment. Okay, the definitive word being unwanted.
Right.
All right. So any form of unwanted conduct, conversation of a sexual nature. Right. It could be physical touch. All right. For someone like me, I'm a hugger. I hug for Africa. But if that hug is not wanted, at that point it can transition from an innocent gesture to sexual harassment. For some people who are that open-minded, I greet some people with a kiss on double cheek. Right. If you're not that open-minded, of course, and it's not wanted, it could dovetail to sexual harassment. So anything, even a handshake.
Is it?
Yes, even a handshake.
I remember a handshake that I felt was sexual harassment. I was so irritated. I wanted to cut off my hand. You know the handshake that you shake, you go shake person and call it scratch your back.
That is so cool. Do people still do that?
This was a long time ago, and it was a photographer that did it to me. And I was so young. I was in primary school.
That's just uncouth.
It is
so uncouth. So yes, apart from physical contact, any form of physical contact that is unwanted, right? It could even be, sorry to say, but it happens, right? Demands of a sexual nature, quid pro quo.
Right.
Let me. But I will say it, Cha. Sadly, there are people, I'll say in my profession, who have gone as bold to telling candidates, that you won't get this job if you don't, provide some form of consideration. And it's not just HR professionals, even hiring managers have gone as far as, soliciting. But in the workplace, it could be any form of sexual demand to get your job, to keep your job, to get promoted at your job, that could qualify as sexual harassment. And then, just like you said, any remark of sexual nature that's not wanted, it could even involve pornography, sending unsolicited nudes or pornographic content to a colleague at work, making sexual comments like, there are some comments that could dovetail from compliments to harassment. So, there's a difference between, Cha-Cha, you're looking nice, and Cha-Cha, you're looking nice today.
No, there's no or Cha-Cha, the way your body looks.
Cha-Cha, you're looking nice today.
There's a difference.
So suddenly you are objectified today. So what is so nice about it today? Right.
Okay. So while you were talking, I was just remembering like 3 different instances where I would say now that I was harassed. First one in my memory was someplace that I had worked just before I'd left them. The owner of the company said to me at that time, he says, you know what, when you're in London, you know what, let's hang out, let's see, you can come to my hotel room. And that was odd.
Hotel room.
Yes. And I was just like, we never do one for here now when we're there abroad. Second one was also the top boss saying to me, nice jump, because I pulled together an event, nice jump, and then he started asking me my preferences, or and I'm just like, okay, where is this conversation leading to? I ended up telling him a balabu. I did tell him something, and then I was glad that he didn't push forward anymore. He started asking me, "Oh, why don't you want to, go this way with me? Is it because of one of my friends that on the side he was talking to?" I said, "Wait to concern me, I'm on this trail." Third one was a staff, somebody that was working under me, who sent me, actually, after he got fired, he sent me a picture of his body parts. I'm just like, what is happening?
But you guys were no more colleagues, yeah?
He was a junior staff. He was a waiter.
I was shooting his shots.
Why would you be shooting your shots at your manager?
Well, we did talk about,
we did.
dating in the office.
We did,
and it could be up, down,
and
up.
at that time, we heard that he was trying to start doing Yahoo. So maybe he got maybe $100. I felt he does $1 now.
He don't hammer. Interesting. Now that we're mentioned, I'd say my first experience with this, as HR, was a time in a company where next thing the front desk lady came to my office crying in tears, and she was like, "I'm done. I'm leaving." And I was like, "What's going on?" And it was Oga at the top.
Oh yeah.
And it's not board appointed MD. It's owner of company MD. Now reporting MD to HR.
What do you want to? How do you
what do you want me
that?
to do? So, our next thing, Igbo girl, sorry to bring in Igbo, she said she was calling her brothers.
Sharp.
I dragged her phone from her hand though.
Why?
And you want to scatter the company?
Yes.
No.
That type of thing, what would you advise someone to do?
Maybe we'll talk about that later on what you can do in case where you feel sexually harassed. But I think I didn't include this in the definition, and I must, because the world is now complicated. Sexual harassment is not limited to opposite gender. So just to put it out there, even people of the same gender can
harass you.
Harass you.
No, be
feel
smarter.
harassed. Yeah.
Have you ever been sexually harassed at a place of work? Have you been the harasser? Have you spoken to someone in a way that you feel like you shouldn't have? Have you been spoken to like that? Has someone said to you, this thing in at the place of work?
Have you been the harasser for me?
Yes.
Will you confess?
People, they confess.
Who will come out to confess that they've sexually harassed someone before?
Some people are happy about it. It's an what do I say? It's what's in that they call them? Which kind of one? Yeah, it's a fetish for them. They want to be threatening. They want to feel like they're imposing. They feel like it's their duty to make people feel uncomfortable. There are very sick people around. What would you say about people that rub their bodies on people in the buses? Or just like it's very nasty. Oh my God, why are we talking about this today? I'm just remembering some other situations that have happened. Anyways, if you've been sexually harassed, let's talk about this. I hope you feel good or you're feeling better. It's a psychological thing that can affect you. But let's talk about laws that are in place to protect employees from sexual harassment. And what rights do we have as individuals if we feel threatened sexually at the place of work?
All right. So sadly, each time I have to talk about Nigerian law, it's with a heavy heart that I always talk about the Nigerian law, especially with regards to labor-related issues. Interestingly, Nigeria doesn't have a single law, right, or a single comprehensive law that addresses sexual harassment at the workplace. Yes, however, there's several other legal provisions that indirectly address it. The first will be the Constitution. Of course, our fundamental human rights to dignity, that protects people, freedom from degrading treatment, and sexual harassment clearly falls under degrading treatment. Of course, the Criminal Code and Penal Code also talk about various forms of assault. I would say that sexual harassment, it's a dual. So it's a law, or rather it's a crime, and it's also a civil violation. So you could be criminally prosecuted and also, civilly sued as well for that. Violence Against Persons Act of 2015, and then Lagos State has a prohibition against domestic violence. Like I said, these laws are an indirect way, right? But one thing that the law would always admit is many companies have, sexual harassment policies,
right?
And those are admissible and enforceable in court.
Right. So a lot of times people get harassed at different places. It could be your neighborhood, it could be your work, but mostly people keep silent when they're harassed at the office. Why do you think this happens?
Well, so I like what you said earlier on. It's a power trip sometimes, a sick fetish. Okay, most of the times people who harass others many times are in a position of authority over them. So that's where they think they could take advantage or take those liberties. Okay, and then because of the power dynamics, many people are coward to keep quiet. Right. Sometimes people are also afraid of being labeled as difficult. Now, let me just play gender role in here, especially in Nigeria. The ratio of male to female, especially in leadership, is skewed towards the male, right? And I'll say this: it's many times it's a boys' club in there. So you accuse one of the boys of sexual harassment, and there's a bullseye painted on you. So many ladies are afraid of that bullseye of she's difficult, she's the difficult person, being placed on them. So they keep quiet. Many people are afraid of speaking up because of fear of retaliation. Right? Like I said, it's a boys' club, and you don't want the boys to come after you. There's also the cultural and social stigma of victims that's placed on victims, especially in these parts of the world. And then many times, people may just downplay that after all, he didn't rape you. Yeah. He only said, come and hug me. He only complimented your body. And then you're now making noise all over the place. So, it gets downplayed. And I'd say one of the biggest reasons why people keep quiet is institutional betrayal.
How so?
Again, I hate to cast my people, but see, many people are afraid that when they go to HR, right, the HR you are reporting to will be the one to downplay the issue, won't give it the right attention, or will end up, putting you in a position where you face the negative repercussions
of what you're trying to do.
Yes, of what you're trying to do. And then I don't know why we do this sometimes. Maybe in the HR conversation we would address this better, but why do sometimes HR there's what you call this mediation. One of the first things we try to do is we try to mediate between the harasser
and the harassed.
And many times that is uncomfortable. All right, someone has already come out to say, hey, this uncomfortable thing happened, and then how awkward it is trying to sit both
people down,
both people in the same room to talk about it. It's almost never ends well.
So I would say that during my experience, the reason why I didn't even say anything about it was because I could handle myself, and obviously I know how to talk my way out of stuff. So even in the university, during my third year doing IT, I had a lecturer, the person who was supposed to be my supervisor. I went there. I was always going to his office with my friend who was also in entertainment. She was working with media house. I was working with music management. And one thing I know is that lecturers would tell you, if you went to Unilag, they would tell you to come to guest house. And this man told me, okay, you come and see me later. What I did was go to his office another time with a bottle of wine and my friend. And I said, chairman, take this thing. And I dropped in for him. We just say, entertainment girl. And that was it. And then sometimes in Unilag, I used to think that it was my surname that used to help me because of my mom. But then again, that guy didn't even know who my mom was at that time. But I handled myself. Other times I've spoken my way through or just made them feel, you're my guy now. There's no need for all of that.
Not too many people are blessed with your kind of mouth.
True.
So some people
they can't say anything.
They don't even know.
So what would you say someone should do in that moment?
Yeah, so in those moments, the first thing you have to do just like what you do, speak up. All right. If you need to confront the harasser, if it's safe enough to do so, confront. But let the person know, and it's important you let the harasser know. Let them know, look, that your comment makes me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Can you not touch me that way? I don't feel comfortable with how you're touching me. Sometimes these gestures are done innocently.
True.
For example, I hug for Africa. If I come stretch my hand to hug you, if you're not comfortable with my hug, I'm quick to read body language.
True.
You may not need to say it. I'll pick it up immediately and instantly know the professional boundaries, professional and personal boundaries you have in place. All right. But if you don't speak up directly, indirectly, drop a hint, show it in your body language, it's very certain that action will continue, because silence may be interpreted as consent.
True.
Yeah, so he touches you this way, you keep quiet, And then secondly, if you're unsure of what the intentions are, like I said, some gestures are done innocently, some statements are said playfully. All right, seek for clarity. Like, hey, what did you mean by I should come see you in the guest house? Were you joking?
Oh yeah.
Were you joking? Because I don't roll that way, right? You're clarifying, or I'm married, right? I can't date my colleagues, right? You're clearing the air.
True.
Okay, so you're clearing, you're making sure there's no assumption. Is it in my head? Because sometimes am I misinterpreting his actions? Sorry, when you pecked me on the cheek, what did you mean?
Why did you do
that? I says, it's the way I greet. Oh, okay, I got you.
I get that. So you should always be able to speak out to the person regardless of who they are.
Regardless.
There's one thing we do in Nigeria. A lot of people who have jackpot, who have left the country, we find out that most people are being sexually harassed or harassing others with comments like, look at your waist, look at your size, this thing is coming out. Nigerians were fond of going overboard in terms of compliments. So let's be guided, especially if we're dealing with people who are non-Africans.
Yeah.
You don't have to compliment, but if I work with you, you have to compliment me because I love it.
But then, just to add, and I think it's very important we bed that issue. Apart from speaking up, apart from getting them to clarify, look, man, document like a detective. Document like a lawyer going to court, because you never know. Loop in others, okay, and then blow the whistle, blow the horn, blow the bugle, sound the alarm, okay. Report to HR, report to your manager, report to your manager's manager. All right, and if nothing is still done, then get a lawyer up.
You not say they should resign. Look for another job.
Okay.
Look for another job before you resign. I would never advise anyone to leave a job without a backup.
I don't think resignation at that point may not be necessary.
Do you not think it's awkward when somebody harasses you and you still have to work in the same space with that person?
Oh yeah, there's nothing more awkward than that.
It's a bit awkward. So please find space where you can breathe, think, and move freely. But what do you think the possible implications could be? You mentioned retaliation. What would somebody do to me that, you harassed me? I would be able to talk. What do you think the possible retaliations could be after reporting?
Of course. So, especially if you're in the same department or team, don't be surprised if meetings go on and you're not aware.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you suddenly start being isolated. If it's your line manager, don't be surprised if your line manager starts sending emails to your team without looping you in, starts giving instructions directly to your team members, not going over your head, going under you, just isolating you, all right? Because you're suddenly the black sheep.
Yeah.
All right. Don't be surprised if promotions start getting delayed for no reason. And you're delivering, but your name just never gets put up for promotions. Right. In some case, you've been a star performer, and then all of a sudden you're getting bad reviews from your line manager. It's not your appraisals are no longer objective, right? And then you're being given impossible tasks with impossible deadlines. Basically they are setting you up to fail. All right, they tell you to bring the ear of a golden dragon.
Go shock them, I go provide them.
Just they're just setting you up to fail. And then this is where HR now gets involved. They put you on PIP 3 months.
What's PIP?
Performance improvement plan.
Okay.
And if you know,
Mm-hmm.
the PIP is just you have 3 months to get yourself a new job. That's just it.
Secret.
Yes, everybody knows that 80% of the time, once you are put on PIP,
Mm-hmm.
8 to 10, many people don't come out of PIP.
Right.
And even if you do, you don't come back the same way.
Right.
So yeah.
Now, there's something about some people, a mind your own business culture that we have, especially in this part of town. You see 2 people acting funny. You think to yourself that maybe that's the way they are, but one person is getting harassed. What do you think a witness should do if I see someone getting harassed? Do I mind my business? Do I, say something? Do I let people play out? Because I feel like everyone is, if you're in an office environment, you should be an adult. So what do I do if I see someone being harassed?
I'll start with what you should not do. Nothing.
Okay.
Yes, don't do nothing. So as a bystander, you see something, you say something, you do something, right? And here are some of the things you can do as a bystander who is witnessing harassment, whether sexual or any kind of harassment. The first thing you can do is directly intervene if you can. All right. Hey, that's not appropriate. Hey, why are you touching Chacha like that? She says she doesn't like it. So actively intervene. All right. If you cannot directly actively intervene, you can distract. All right. You see a situation happening and you could just get in between both parties, on a lighter note. Chacha, I think
someone is calling.
You have a phone call. Just create a distraction that can remove the victim from that situation. And if you cannot intervene, delegate the intervention. Call security, call HR. Just
call Chacha.
Chacha will blow. She will scream on your behalf.
Hold them for throats.
All right, and then delay. So offer support to the victim. Be empathetic to the victim. All right, it's not easy when a victim comes forward and says they've been harassed. Fight the urge to isolate that person. Reach out to the person. How you doing? Offer whatever kind of support, morally, emotionally, to that person, because it's not an easy thing to deal with.
Indeed. So as a company, I know a lot of companies cannot control the urges or behavior of their staff. But what should a company do to foster a supportive workplace culture?
Yes. So the first thing I would say the company should do is implement a zero tolerance policy. Everybody should know the company's official position with regards to sexual harassment.
Right.
Zero tolerance, irrespective of your position, irrespective of your cadre, irrespective of your gender. Look, as a business, you are found wanting, you are out.
Right.
You don't care who you are, whether you are the MD. If you're found guilty of it, you gotta go.
Right.
All right. And another thing that a company can do is provide regular mandatory training. It would shock you. It will really shock you that many people don't know what is harassment, both from a harasser's point of view and a victim's point of view. Many people interpret things that don't constitute harassment to be harassment because maybe some people come from a super conservative background and some people come from a very liberal background, so they don't know their boundaries.
Right.
And then the conservative people don't know what's being too touchy. So yes, everybody needs to be trained on what constitutes harassment in this organization.
Right.
From top to bottom, everybody needs to be made aware of that. Know what kind of jokes, know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and lead by example. Okay, it's sad to say, like the example I gave, if the MD is the one harassing doing the sexual harassment, what do you think will happen to all the other managers?
They would be doing the same thing.
They would do
too.
the same thing, and it's just going to be the order of the day.
All right.
All right. So, but if from top leadership, everybody is walking the talk, right? Then yes, there's a big chance that it will be a safe environment. Create a safe channel of reporting. Have anonymous reporting lines, whereby the anonymity of the victims are protected. There's nothing more painful than reporting and not getting feedback.
True.
So anyone that makes a report should be kept in the loop, know the outcome, and I'd say this: justice delayed is justice denied. Don't let it be like Nigerian judicial system where a case can take years before you get justice. Okay, justice should be swift, and it should be seen to be done.
Very well said. Thank you so much. So those who have been harassed, please make sure you remember to speak up. Say something. Don't beat yourself up. Sometimes it's not your fault. It's the person who has a very, nasty upbringing and something they worry them for head. So don't beat yourself too much. Any final thoughts, Mr. Patrick?
I mean, you've taken the words out of my mouth. Said it. You're not alone. Many times it's not about you. It's just the person has problems.
Right.
Something went wrong in their nurture. So don't take Panadol for somebody else's headache, right?
Very well said.
And just like Chacha said, don't keep quiet.
Don't keep quiet. Speak up. Thank you so much. How can people connect with you just in case they want to continue? Yes,
you want to continue this conversation, or you want to have any conversation you cannot have with your HR, okay? You can reach out to me, Patrick UMO, on every social media handle: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, YouTube,
Twitch. He's not on Twitch.
There's Twitch now.
There is Twitch.
I'll be there. Everywhere you go, Patrick UMO, reach out to me.
You're listening to Career Compass with Patrick and Chacha on Base 101.1 FM.